I pledge myself to uphold the high purpose of the National Honor Society, to which I have been selected, striving in every way, by word and deed, to make its ideals, the ideals of my school, and of my life. You can sit down.
Mr. Michael Boston Jr. Mr. Isaiah Holt. Miss Tori Simmons. And Miss Zoe Smith. After these,
National Honor Society, NHS, serves as a guiding force, illuminating the way toward academic excellence and intellectual growth. It's more than just hitting the books, it's a commitment to the pursuit of knowledge, a hunger for understanding, a dedication to lifelong learning. The NHS Scholarship Pillar acknowledges the profound impact that intellectual curiosity and academic achievement can have on an individual's and society as a whole. It calls on us to embrace the transformative power of education and to embody the spirit of scholarship in every facet of our lives. To showcase, embody, and nurture scholarship within the NHS community, active participation in activities that fuel intellectual curiosity and a love for learning is key. Whether it's diving into academic competitions, joining study groups, or taking on challenging courses, these actions demonstrate a commitment to academic excellence and contribute to an environment where knowledge is not just gained but shared. Beyond the classroom, involvement in community service that promotes education, such as tutoring programs or literacy initiatives, exemplifies how scholarship can be a catalyst for positive societal change. Furthermore, being a beacon for knowledge and inspiring peers to embrace the joy of learning is a powerful way to foster scholarship within in the NHS community. In wrapping up, the NHS Scholarship Pillar is a testament to the importance of intellectual growth and academic excellence. It's not just about grades, it's a lifelong pledge to understanding, questioning, and applying knowledge. By actively engaging in activities that showcase, embody, and nurture scholarship, members of the National Honor Society contribute not only to their personal growth, but also to the betterment of their communities. As we embark on this shared journey, let us wholeheartedly embrace the spirit of scholarship. In doing so, we not only enrich our lives, but also contribute to the collective pursuit of knowledge that defines the heart of the National Honor Society. As we celebrate our induction into this esteemed society, let scholarship be the guiding force propelling us toward a future marked by intellectual curiosity, academic achievement, and a lasting impact on the world around us. Tori Simmons will now speak on service.
What is service? Service in the community is the action of helping or doing work for someone without the intention of getting a reward or money. By giving service and volunteering in your community, it strengthens it, you're making a positive difference, you're gaining social skills that will help you in life. Service is important because it brings people together, and it takes teamwork and communication to get anything done. When you are giving your service, it gives you the chance to change other people's lives. You can know that what you're doing by just helping others is making a huge difference if they aren't able to help themselves. It teaches you to be selfless and empathetic. It gives you a sense of responsibility and compassion. Problem solving, time management, communication, leadership, and teamwork are all skills that you will gain, and they will help you succeed in life. There are so many different ways to volunteer, such as food drives, cleaning up a park, reading to little kids, and more. Service is an important part of any community. I believe that everyone should help theirs because it is a valuable experience and it makes such a positive impact. It doesn't take much to give back to those that can't help themselves. You learn to be organized and view things differently. I believe that by having the motivation to do good things and help others will always be a good sense of direction. Michael Boston Jr. will now speak about leadership.
Leadership is something every person has in them. Being a leader is showing people how to do things that they need help with, taking responsibility when a project is not meeting expectations, resolving any conflicts that might happen, and keeping order when there is chaos going on all around you. There are 3 different definitions for leadership, but the action of leading a group of people or an organization is the most relevant in a school setting. There are many different examples of leadership being a positive influence that people see in their daily lives. Some of them are not as obvious as others are. Leadership can develop character in people so that they are a new person when they start taking on responsibilities. A perfect example of this happening is when someone first becomes a section leader in a choir, because they are more focused on making sure everyone is doing what they were supposed to be doing, unlike how they were the year before that. Leadership will also bring you out of your comfort zone and do things you wouldn't normally do. A good example that comes to mind is also when someone first becomes a section leader in choir, because they are having to be the example for others to follow, which they might have never done before. The best way to demonstrate leadership is to take initiative when there is something that needs to be done, whether it is in the classroom, neighborhood, church, or even in one's own home. Leadership is important in everything that exists. One example is on a construction site. There has to be someone giving orders on what needs to be done, because if there is no one who tells the workers what to do, they will not know what to do or if anything changes. Another example of leadership being important is teachers in the classroom, because students need to have teachers to teach them, which is leadership. The last main example of leadership being important is in school clubs and organizations. The reason these examples are most important out of the others is because they are places that leadership is shown the most. Zoe Smith will now speak about character.
Character is defined as the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. To me, however, character is more about how you are perceived or how you act in the world. Someone who is authentically themselves when some are not. To have character means to be a good listener. They retain a positive outlook and lift people up instead of putting them down. They also own up to their mistakes and are reliable. Those with good character demonstrate that in many different ways. Someone with good character would ask more questions rather than make more statements. Good listeners think before they act. They consider the feelings of those around them, and they take notice of someone who might be down. They make them feel seen. They look on the bright side and focus on the silver lining instead of always dwelling on what's bad. When someone with good character makes the best of a bad situation, even if they are the ones who cause the situation, they would own up to their mistakes and admit fault. More importantly, they try to be a part of solving the problem. Having the courage to own up to your own mistakes makes you seem like you're a reliable person. When people know they can come to you for help without judgment, makes them feel like they can trust you. Having good character can get you far in the world. If an employer knows you have character, then they can trust you to do more things and do them the right way. When your family can see the character in you, they will trust you with more responsibilities. Having good character can set higher standards for yourself. If others see the standards on you, then they might want to see these traits in themselves. In the famous words of Bruce Lee, knowledge will give you power, but character respect.
John Donaldson is an alumni of Chelsea High School and graduated in 1985. He has been married to his his high school sweetheart, Kim, for 37 years. They have 2 daughters and 6 grandchildren. John is in the aviation industry for almost 25 years. He has now been employed at Chelsea schools for the past 5 years. He is also the campus pastor of Harbor Church in Chelsea. His hobbies include going to his grandkids' ball games and activities, home and garden shows, golf, and just hanging out with his wife. Please help me welcome Mr. Cian Donaldson to the podium.
Thank you, Miss Drager. You've been around your dad way too long. I'll be real honest with you guys. A couple weeks ago, I was sitting in this very room minding my own business, and Miss Lutz came up to me and asked if I would speak at this thing, and I said, I actually don't know if I ever said yes or not. I said, let me check my calendar, but you know, I really, when I was in school, like Jacqueline said, I graduated in 1985, and I couldn't even spell NHS when I was in school, and I mean, for these young people to have this honor put upon them is really and truly an honor, and you parents ought to be proud. I think so much is said of just achievements and focusing on certain things. And as I was sitting here and I was thinking about what do I say to people who are, in my opinion, I guess I feel unworthy because I graduated in the top 75% of my class. I graduated. I was just glad to get out of school, and grades were I had to stay eligible to play sports, and that's why I came to school. And so, but no, in all seriousness, some of my best friends in high school, some of the guys who were on my football team and basketball team, they were members of NHS, and I was sort of always jealous because they got to wear extra stuff at graduation, and I only had to wear the green robe, and so I was just the normal guy. But as I was thinking about what do I say tonight? What do I say to these young people in the room? And as I was sitting here and I was thinking about it, I really thought about those 4 pillars, and as I looked at those and I was listening to these guys talk about it and read about it, I don't want to go into a lot of great detail of different ones, but when I was thinking about it and I saw the scholarship and I was thinking about how in life, for some of us who didn't go to college, I had no desire to go to college. I had no, I was sort of much done with school, and so when you think about certain things that you do in the life when you get out of high school, the decisions you make, and as I sit here and people say, well, do you have any regrets in life? And people used to always say, because me and Kim, we actually went together to school together all the way through the first grade, and so we've known each other a long time, and we got married at a young age, and we started having a family at a young age, and people say, do you ever regret any of the decisions that you made? And I said, there's no regret at all of any decisions I made. I do have one regret, and it's really a funny one, but I used to take piano lessons when I was in 2nd and 3rd grade. And that is the one regret that I wish that I would have continued. I'd love to know how to play the piano. I mean, I just would love to know. I envy people that can do that. But we continue to learn throughout life, even though you may not ever pick up another textbook. But in life, you will continue to get smarter and to grow intellectually. And you'll learn in this thing that we call the school of life. And every adult in here knows exactly what I'm talking about. And nobody in here, no adult in here, if they're honest, will ever say everything. You probably had no idea you'd be where you're at now. You probably had different plans and different directions. Some people might have been, but if you'd have told me when I was sitting here as a 12th grader at Chelsea High School that one day you'd be a maintenance guy at Chelsea High School and a campus pastor, I would say you were something. but you know, you never know what direction your life will take. You never know, and so you roll with that. And then the service, and I thought something that was really good is there's all kinds of how people serve in their communities and do things in their school and in their churches or whatever you're at, and learning to serve and to give back what people have given to you. And I feel like that should start in the house, and young people ought to be serving to their mom and dad, like cleaning up their room and washing the dishes and doing whatever and helping out, because that's where service starts, is how you serve your parents. And I'm not talking about a slave, I'm just talking about doing what you're supposed to do. It's easy for me to say that now because I wasn't a very good server when I was a kid at home anyway, so but I can say that. Leadership is something that's real big. Leadership is something that I feel like you can be a leader in all kinds of different ways. I remember as being one of the leaders on a football team when I was in school. The other two, my friends that were the tri-captains, their leadership skills was very wild, very out there, and very weird. My leadership has always been, I'm quiet. Unless I'm having to speak, I don't talk much, and I like to just be that way. I like to just be a quiet leader and just lead in however I can, but I don't have to just raw that type of a leadership. That's just not me. And I just think that leadership qualities is something that you can be a leader in very much different ways. Then the last one, which I feel like is the most important, and that's character. I feel like that when you talk character and you talk about what does it mean to have good character? Well, character is what you are when no one else is around. Character is who you see in that mirror when you're getting ready for school. A reputation is what other people perceive. And it's good to have a good reputation. But it is very important to have good character, because character is who you really are. And character is something that you are going to take for the rest of your life. You know, scholarships and service and leadership and all those other things, you may not always be a part of that, but good character will last your life. And if people that have good character, they're naturally a good person. And they can look at themselves and they can understand that I know that what I'm doing I shouldn't be doing. And when they can come to a reality that I shouldn't be doing this, I should be better. Are we going to make mistakes? Absolutely. We all make mistakes. But when I think about character, I think about that is who we really, really are when we're by ourselves. And I always think about, I think about two people in the Bible that I'm just going to talk about just vaguely. There's two men that I really think in the Bible who established their character at a young age. And you can read this in Genesis, and you can read it also in Daniel. And they're Joseph and Daniel. Those are two young men in the Bible who had character when they were put in positions as young teenage boys. And they had to really pursue character because they were being pushed to not do the right things. When I think about it in closing, and this is really all I want to talk about, is this. In your life, whichever route your lives go, and your lives will go many, many different routes. You know, I always hear people say when I was in high school, enjoy your high school years, because at graduation time, when you walk across that stage, sometimes that's going to be the last time you'll ever see that person, and it's a true statement. One of my best friends in high school, I've seen them one time since I've been out of high school. And the point I say when I say all this is very simple: this: make the most of every moment in your life. Don't waste an opportunity. Take advantage of everything you have. And you people, you young people who have gotten this honor bestowed upon you, that's an awesome, awesome thing. And you ought to be proud of it. But at the same time, you be humble about it too. because that is a gift that God has given you. And you've worked at it, sure. But enjoy it and appreciate it. And in closing, this is me. And I can't speak for anybody else in this room, but this is how I live my life. God first, my family second, and everything else falls under that. And that's the order that life is for me. And that's what's got me through this thing called life. And you guys have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sean, for coming this evening and speaking with us. I know we all appreciate all you do for our school. Mr. Tyree, will you please come forward?
Thank you, Jacqueline. When I think about the four pillars by which NHS stands for, I think about all 225, 30 kids that we have in our hall. They all possess a little bit of each one of these characters. They walk through these halls, and I'm so proud of each one of them every day. But the kids you see up here, and the kids that are members of the NHS, are kids that have it to the very highest degree. And each one of you in this room have been, whether it be a small part or a big part, of their influence in creating that scholarship, that service, that leadership, and that character. You have been a very, very integral part of them becoming who they are today. So this is not only a moment for you to be proud of them, it's also a moment for you to be proud of yourself and the young men and women that you guys have been a part of in being in their life. So you deserve yourself as big a hand as we deserve them at this time. And thank you guys for coming tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Tyree. I know you were not happy about having to speak.
Oh, I spoke last year. I don't mind. I can talk all the time.
This concludes our induction ceremony. There are cupcakes and some drinks in the back. Please take them. I am not taking them home to my 4-year-old. Thank you guys so much for coming.